In a world where millions are fleeing war, famine, and persecution, why is the US opening its arms to white South Africans while slamming the door on Palestinians, Sudanese, and Congolese? Why them? Why now? Hi, I'm Jonas Anbiko, and welcome to Analytica Today. This week, 59 white South Africans, mostly Afrikaners, landed in the US waving American flag and holding refugee papers. Their claim, they're fleeing persecution. Trump says they're victims of genocide. South Africa says it's political theater. Here's the kicker. This group is getting fast-tracked refugee status while the US deports Afghans, blocks Sudanese, and turns away Palestinians. So what's really going on here? Today, we're unpacking the facts, the optics, and the global double standards that have made this story a geopolitical flashpoint. Let's dive in. To understand this, we need to rewind. South Africa's apartheid system from 1948 to 1994 was brutal. It stripped black South Africans of rights, forcing them into impoverished homelands, barring them from owning land and accessing opportunity, while white South Africans, it stripped black South Africans of rights, forcing them into impoverished homelands, barring them from owning land and accessing opportunity, while white South Afrikaners, descendants of Dutch settlers, controlled land, wealth, and power. When apartheid ended, Nelson Mandela's government faced a massive challenge, fixing a system where 7% of the population, whites, owned 78% of private farmland and had 20 times the wealth of black households. Even today, this gap persists. White South Africans, just 7% of the population, still own more than 70% of farmlands. According to a 2024 study by the African Institute, the average black household has 5% of a white household's wealth. Pay disparities: white workers earn up to 3 times more for similar jobs. Education: white students are twice as likely to attend top universities. This isn't history. This is the reality. It's a direct result of generation of systemic racism, and it's the context in which some Afrikaners now claim they're being persecuted. Their claim is not just controversial, it's offensive to many. Enter Donald Trump. In February, he signed an executive order granting Afrikaners refugee status, claiming they're victims of land seizure and racial violence. He calls it white genocide. But let's break that down. The law they're referring to is Expropriation Act, allows land to be reclaimed without compensation, only under very limited conditions. So far, no land has been seized, and most violent crimes in South Africa affect poor black communities, not white farmers. Plus, many of these so-called refugees don't even live on farmlands. They're urban professionals, business owners, or retirees. Still, they arrived in the US on government-funded charter flights, greeted by senior officials with green cards already in sight. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has slashed refugee admissions from countries like Sudan, Afghanistan, Haiti, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, where real persecution and displacement are happening every day. So the question isn't can people flee South Africa, it's why only this group. Let's be blunt. This isn't about protecting lives. It seems more about politics. South Africa recently accused Israel of genocide at the International Court of Justice. It strengthened ties with Iran and pushed the de-dollarization agenda of BRICS, positioning itself as a counterweight to Western dominance. Trump didn't like that. Many analysts say this refugee program is less about humanitarianism and more about punishing South Africa for stepping out of line. South African Minister of International Relations, Ronald Lamola, even called it a deliberate attempt to undermine our democracy and our position on global justice. And look at the timing. As Afrikaners are welcomed into the US, Sudanese fleeing civil war are turned away. Afghans, including women escaping Taliban, are deported. Palestinians under siege in Gaza are denied refugee. Instead, we're seeing white South Africans with property and privilege offered safe haven. Is this refugee policy or selective favoritism? Here's the thing. By redefining Afrikaners as refugee, the US isn't just rewriting facts, it's redefining who qualifies as worthy of saving. Jacob Lamini, a South African historian at Princeton, said it best. This isn't about safety. It's about not wanting to live under black majority rule. These people aren't refugee. they're just no longer special. And yet, they're getting refugee while millions with no land, no home, and no power are left behind. So what message does this send? That privilege, not peril, is the new passport to protection. And what does this say about the US? About how power, race, and politics shape who gets to flee and who gets forgotten. This isn't just a South African story. It's a global story about who matters in a world of shifting alliances, double standards, and selective empathy. For millions suffering from real persecution, war, and genocide across Africa and the Middle East, it's a reminder that not all lives are treated equally in the international system. It is a reminder that being a refugee isn't about need, it's about narrative. What do you think? Is this double standard? Or is Trump onto something? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this video if it made you think differently. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that unpack Africa's place in the world. Until next time, I'm Yonasan Biko, and this is Analytica Today.